Thank you for attending the Week of Kindness. Coming up next is another powerful, impactful, amazing speaker. Get your notepad out, get your pen. Let's get ready and enjoy. Catherine, hello. I'm going to drop down, but it's so good to see you. I cannot wait. I've got my notepad and everything here because I need it. I need it.
Okay, there's a test coming. No, just kidding. There's no
test coming at the end of it.
All right, you ladies have a good time. I'll see you in a minute.
Thanks,
All
Lisa.
right. Hey, Kat, you look amazing. I like this makeover you're doing.
Thank you, Tony. You look amazing as well.
Hey, we're trying one step at a time, right? Hey, folks. So Catherine and I are friends, but not only that, I'm also one of her clients, and I can't speak highly enough. I can't talk good. I can't speak highly enough about her. Catherine is known as the quiz queen, and I didn't know what all that meant until I asked her to show me her stuff. And then you and I had a couple of meetings, and within just a few days, she laid out an entire process by which you can answer a series of questions and immediately know, I mean, literally, immediately know whether you are an emerging speaker, an experienced speaker, an experienced pro speaker, or an expert. And those four things saved me hours of trying to get the assessment, the initial interview where you book somebody's time so you can see that it works well together. If I send them this quiz first, I already know where they're at. So I can't tell you how important that was. And Catherine, I'm going to challenge you for something else at the end of this.
Okay. I love it. Challenge.
Actually, I have a new texting company.
Okay.
That does the phone thing, and I'd like to see that quiz, or at least the poll. And I want to talk with you to figure out what's the best way to handle a text that says, "Hey, thanks for texting us. Are you interested in A, B, C, or D?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can do that.
I know you can. Anyway, so I was just thinking of uses for the quiz, and you're going to give us all kinds of other advice. Are you sharing your screen? Are you giving us some PowerPoint? Are you showing us your gems?
You know what? I think if everyone has their pen and paper, because what I'd love to go through is a little bit of my kind of top tips. And talk through a little bit of that to get the kind of the mind going and the mindset going. If that works for you, Tony.
That works great. I love it. So, Lisa, I'm going to ask you to spotlight Miss Catherine, and hey, it's your stage, my friend.
Perfect.
Right.
Hey everyone. Thank you so much, Tony, for that lovely introduction. And again, my name is Catharine OLeary, and Mark Victor Hansen once said that he who asks the best questions actually controls the conversation. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, is really controlling that conversation so that you are starting a relationship with your clients that is, beneficial. They get a little bit of content, they get some learning, you learn a little bit about them, and then you continue on the progression of the relationship, and you don't immediately go into sales mode. You don't immediately go into what I call proposing marriage on the first date. So we're not going to do that. We're going to stop proposing marriage on the first date because it's creepy, right? It's just creepy, right? And it happens all the time. It happens when somebody reaches out on LinkedIn and is like, "Hey, I was looking at your stuff. Do you want to talk?" It's like, I don't know you. I don't know what this is about. So a way that I love to engage people is through quizzes, and we're going to talk about that. But first, congratulations everyone for being here today and helping support the Week of Kindness. It's an amazing opportunity, and some spectacular speakers and giveaways and so on that you are getting dialed into. That's going to make your 2023 rock even harder. So good for you for coming out and joining us. But I wanted to share today a few tips, but first just a little bit about me. Again, my name is Catharine OLeary. I am known as a quiz queen. I didn't grow up wanting to be the quiz queen. Kind of wanted to be the Wolf of Wall Street, to be honest. So I went to business school and I, became an economist. I started in corporate and I spent actually 30 years in corporate, pretty much working for or with a lot of the Fortune 100 companies as a market research and consumer insight specialist. Now, if you're anything like my father, you might be like thinking to yourself, what in the world is that? He was a little bit more forceful. He was like, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, Catherine, are you lying to me? I think you're lying because that doesn't sound like a real thing at all. It was a real thing. It is a real thing. And basically all it is asking clients questions and really understanding what their current situation is, what their struggles are, and then what their aspirations are. And then using that information to help corporate build new product innovations or marketing campaigns or maybe sales conversations around the gap between what people are struggling with and what their aspirations are. That's what corporations are really good at filling with, the knowledge and the intel that they get from their clients. Now, they do spend a lot of money to get this intelligence, anywhere upwards of 6 to 7 figures per year. I know that the last corporation that I worked with at Pepsi was spending, I mean, it was astronomical what they spend on the Super Bowl ads and the intel that goes in, all behind everything that goes into Super Bowl. And I know that Apple, for example, when I worked with Apple, they were spending quite a bit in learning about people's iTunes and iPod back in the day usage and awareness and so on. So this is what corporations do. This is not what entrepreneurs do very well. So what I'm going to challenge everyone here is really imagine, you're the biggest corporation in the world. Imagine you've got all the funding in the world. Imagine what you could learn by just asking a few simple questions around your consumers or your clients' needs, wants, and desires. So let's go through a couple of tips and tricks that you can take away from my 30 years of experience in working with corporate, and what I now bring to my clients as I work with entrepreneurs and small business owners to really learn about their own customers, their own clients, and how to bring their clients to their offers. So I'm going to give you as much as I can in the time that I have left. And for those of you who want to work with me a little bit more, no worries. We're going to get you all set up with some gifts and so on. But what I wanted to do was kind of go through 3 tips. So here's tip number 1. So I hope you have your pen and paper ready. Tip number 1 is that in order to not propose marriage on the first date, you can't make it about you. You can't make it about your business and you can't make it about your solutions. It's got to be about your clients, right? There is that what I call the 3 a.m. wake up call. That 3 a.m., jolt out of bed, night sweats, nightmare, there's a problem, there's something that's driving them bonkers, there is something that they need help solving. That's the 3 a.m. problem that you want to be concentrating on. You've created an offer that solves a 3 a.m. problem, right? So you've created that that situation and that solution for your clients. But you got to talk to them about the fact that you've got the solution. And the way to do that is to stop the scroll and ask them, you know, what is stopping you from, being 6 figures to going into 7 figures? Or what's stopping you from being unstoppable? Or maybe it's what's your market readiness score? Or your number 1 wealth blocker. I mean, you can play around with this for almost any business. In fact, to be honest, I haven't met a business yet that I can't do a quiz for. So you can do it for your business too. But really, you want to start with that 3 a.m. problem. It's their problem. It's what they're waking up at night. It's really what they need your help to solve. And here's the real trick about the 3 a.m. problem is that only your target audience has it, right? So I'm going to let that sink in for a second. Only your target audience, your best clients have the 3 a.m. problem that you want to solve, right? So that you're not getting every Tom, Dick, and Harry into your email list, and as Tony was saying, spending tons of time in really vetting your leads so that you're getting to the best clients. You start with a list of your best clients, right? So you want to have your 3 a.m. problem. That is your 3 a.m. problem for your best clients, not everyone. You don't serve everyone. If you serve everyone, you serve no one. So making sure that you have your 3 a.m. problem. Next thing, you need to know where you're leading them, right? So be the best GPS that you can be, right? So you really want to make sure that you are clear on your offer, right? Clarity in exactly what the consumer is going to receive once they go through your offer. What are the benefits of the transformation that you're promising or that you're offering? Right? So are they going to be able to communicate better? So are they going to be able to be heard and be listened to and listen better? Compromise without cringing, and maybe it's negotiation before no. Those kinds of things if you're a communication coach, or you want to make sure that you're talking to your client in their language about the things that they are going to end up with once they get through that offer. Right? So, number 1 is your 3 a.m. problem. Number 2 is getting super clear on their endpoint. So, your navigation, right? You're taking them from the problem and you're going to take them all the way over to the solution, right? You got to be clear on both of those, right? And then you got to connect the two, right? Because you're still the GPS, you're still taking them on a journey, right? The road trip is still on. So from their 3 a.m. problem to the solution, this is your chance to shine. This is your chance to shine as the expert. So show up as the expert and, really lean into what is their current situation? What are they struggling with? And what are their aspirations? And by doing that, first of all, you're talking about the thing that they want to talk about most, which is themselves, right? So what's in it for them? They want to know the answer. They want to know what's stopping them from going, from 6 to 7 figures, or what color their super cape is, or their coaching superpower is, whatever that is. They actually stop. They want to know. But now you got to get to know them a little bit, because you can't go straight into a solution without any context and without any questions. That's proposing marriage on the first date, right? Well, you want to get to know them a little bit. So have a little bit of a coffee chat and make it and structure it in a way that makes sense for them to learn a little bit about what's going on in their situation. So, where are they currently? What are they challenged with? What are their aspirations? And oh, by the way, here's a solution that we have for you. Then you can give them a little bit of a taste, right? A little bit of a taste of exactly what's going on in your offer that they can take away and immediately implement. Right? That's the lead magnet, quote unquote, part of the process. So that's what they can take away right away. You have immediately given value. Right? So you've understood their pain, their 3 a.m. problem. You've taken them through a little bit of a journey of tell me more about it. Where are you struggling? What do you want to be? Now they've kind of gone through the self-discovery of, okay, here's the gap. You're offering a couple of solutions to fill that gap. And then cherry on top, this is your bonus. The cherry on top is the invite. Then you invite them to the next date. Right? You invite them to your one-on-one call. You invite them to the sales page. You invite them to the webinar, whatever that looks like. Right? So, in order to make sure that you are getting to know your clients, your best clients, and only your best clients, and you want to make sure that you're starting that relationship and starting that conversation, you start with their problem, which is their 3 a.m. nightmare wake-up call. You go into the coffee chat, which gets to know them a little bit, gets them talking about themselves, gets them thinking about, what's going on in relation to that problem. And then you get to go into some solutions and really showing off your expertise all the while you're building up your kind of know, like, and trust factor, your authority. You're showing up as a subject matter expert. You get to educate them a little bit about what's going on in their world, and you get to invite them to the next step, right? Brilliant, genius, right? This is what I call the Mac Daddy superhero of all lead magnets, because it has everything. It has the ability to draw in leads, but not just leads, high quality leads, right? Get to know them a little bit, and then you get to invite them to the next step. And it all takes 60 seconds, right? Or less, right? Instead of 6 weeks of email nurture sequence, or getting on a call and maybe not talking to the right people, or spending a ton of time vetting people, or whatever is going on now. So let's get to know people. Let's shorten that cycle to build you up as with the know, like, and trust, so that you are the expert, and invite them, your best clients, to the next step. Right? How good does that sound? Right? And the time that you're saving at the back end of not having to deal with the unqualified people. Honestly, the tire kickers and the freebie seekers, off you go. Right? Attract your best, release the rest, because honestly, they are somebody else's best. So let's keep the business flowing, and let's keep, the people flowing into your business that are your best clients, and not attracting those that aren't your best clients, because it doesn't serve you and it doesn't serve them. Right? Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay. So, in order to understand this a little bit more, and in order to, to show you, because after all, the proof is in the pudding, I have a gift for you. And my gift for you is actually, lo and behold, it's a quiz. And if you want to learn a little bit more about what quiz is best for your business, you can, you can use my gift. Hi, Tony. And that gift will take you through. It will take you through how I structure a quiz, and kind of some of the questions that you can ask. It'll show you how you show up as the expert in both written form and video, and it'll have the emails and so on. And that's something that Tony did with the quiz that some of you may have seen by coming here.
That's really true. So I love the way you explained it. It made it really, really simple. So, but Catherine, let me ask you this. All right. So, you know what? I'm going to ask you, what have some of your clients done that have not helped you?
That
Because
have
what do we want them not to do?
Oh,
yeah, we've got some.
yeah.
Let's talk about some horror stories, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's very difficult to really get into knowing, your quiz if you don't know your target audience. So
Yep.
you have to know your target audience, because it's really hard to come up with that 3 a.m. question if you're trying to come up with everyone's 3 a.m. question.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're trying to solve for world peace and financial freedom, and being more time abundant, and trying to figure out how to do grade 9 math, it's probably like you're just doing too much. So make sure that you know your ideal client. And the other thing that a lot of people tend not to do is stay out of the weeds of your offer. So stay out of the process, right? Like, the process is something that you will show them, like, that by definition that will come, but they don't want to hear about it right now. They don't want to know how I'm going to go from point 1 to point 2 to point 3. They're trusting you to get them through those points, right? What they want to know is, at the end of the day, what do I get to stand up and say, right? Do I get to stand up and say, I tripled my leads, I doubled my conversion rates, and I made more money? Because that's what people at the end of a quiz can say if they've used a quiz for their business. That's what people want to know. They don't want to know, this is how you word the question, or this is how, like, how you get into the mindset, or how you meditate, or anything like that. That's not what they want. They want to know, at the end of the day, what do I get to do, be, or have by going through this process with you.
All right. So if I heard you right, we're going to, before they get a hold of you, they kind of have to know who their market is.
Yep.
And this is the question I ask whenever I interview here is, all right, so we're establishing a joint venture affiliate agreement so that
Yep.
we can promote for you because you do stuff that I don't do and I do stuff that you don't do.
Yep.
So it's a perfect marriage. So what I usually do is I make it very, very clear with my speakers. If we're sitting in a 100-person event and you're on a round table for 10 and I'm on a round table, how do I know which one is, God, this lady needs to go to Catherine?
I think it's anyone that's has it, like needs that lead generation to like
Yeah.
basically anyone that wants a client attraction system that
Yes.
makes it easy to attract your best clients on autopilot, right? Because
There
this is
you go. Oh, I love, no, 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 no. You got to say
yeah,
that again because this is really important. It's just
yeah,
as important as having clarity on your offer, clarity on your who you're working with, your tribe, your avatar, whatever they call it, your niche. It's still, you still need to have it pretty clear because you can't attract everybody.
yeah,
And then of course what you're trying to get them to realize before they talk to you. Does that make sense? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the audience, there's the offer, and then the other thing that I would say that drives me bonkers and I'm on a mission to make sure that it doesn't happen is don't throw every question that you could possibly think of,
Oh, no, no. I hate that.
right?
I
Like
have
I
no
mean,
problem with filling out the form to speak here.
yeah, no, it's and I've
Oh,
seen it. I've seen it so many times like, "Oh, you were on question 1 of 30. And
oh
what's your
no.
dog's name? And what are you wearing today? And where's your favorite vacation spot? And oh, by the way, here's your financial plan." And it was like, "What the heck
Mm,
does my dog's name have to do with it?" Like
yeah,
don't
yeah,
just ask questions for the sake of questions because the question, especially within a lead generation quiz or a client attraction quiz, like that's expensive real estate. That is the most expensive real estate that you're going to spend in your marketing strategy. So make it count. It's got to earn
right.
$1 million, right?
Yeah,
Every question needs to be $1 million real estate. So if it's not, if it's a nice to have, out of there because you
yeah.
can get it elsewhere.
I love that you said that because I've been, we've been looking for insurance for my son, for example, and those are like the biggest quiz questions ever.
Yeah.
But then they start asking some really personal questions, and you're sitting there going, "Oh my God, they're going to give my info to 100 insurance companies." And when you get to the phone number, I'm like, "No, I'm done. Click off." Because that's the last thing that's happened to me so many times, and I'm sure so many seniors like me have fallen prey to that. Is whether it's insurance or whether it's this, it's one poll after the other, one question after the other. And it starts off okay, and then you start sinking back and sinking back and sinking back
Yeah.
and thinking, I've got to get out of here. They're gonna blow up my phone for the next 4 months with crap calls.
And not only that, I mean, we're dealing in a digital age where
Yeah.
a goldfish has an attention span of 8 seconds. We have the attention span of 7 seconds.
I've heard 5 to 7 in various conversations.
We have less attention than a goldfish. So, like, you can't put, 1,700 questions into something. Not at that point. If you're talking about an intake form, if you're talking about somebody that's going to be, going to your, high-end mastermind or something, and you need a bunch of information, you need to make sure that they are, committed and so on. That's a different story. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a client attraction system that makes it easy for your best clients to find you and for you
Yeah.
to find them on autopilot. That takes 5 to 8 questions.
Right. Oh, I love that. And you and I went through that as well because the whole week of kindness changed a couple of times.
Yep.
And we found out, okay, there's not just three types of
Yep.
speakers. It started with two, experience and not. And then we finessed it a little bit to go to three, emerging, experience, and expert. And then we realized that we
Yep.
needed a fourth
Yep.
because the difference between one and the other was a one-on-one interview. An
Yeah.
experienced pro normally already has a 30-minute recording they just send to us.
Yeah.
But so many people, even though they had recordings, wanted the interview that I ended up having to hire 3 and 4 interviewers to help
Yeah.
me. You
Yes.
know,
And you were running
yeah.
into time constraints, so you
Oh,
needed
big
to
time. Yeah,
identify.
it was a nightmare. And then and then on top of everything, you have to you have to allocate some time for the risk of catching COVID or getting the flu, or how
Yeah.
many speakers can't make. We've already had 2 or 3 speakers who haven't been able to show up live
Yeah.
because they got sick.
Yeah.
So, we're learning. Everything is a learning experience, guys, and the you have to look at it with that child's mind, because
Yeah, and
that's what makes it better.
one of the
Go
things
ahead.
you brought up here, Tony, is that a quiz can be flexible. So, like at the back end, we had to change it a little bit. We didn't have to rewrite a whole bunch.
No,
We
right.
just we had to do, just tweak. So
Yeah.
it's flexible. It's flexible enough to travel with you through your marketing calendar,
Yeah.
and through your brand journey. So yeah. So thank you, Tony,
Uh,
for having me here.
Oh, my pleasure. All right, everyone. Catherine, I'm going to give you the last words. What do you have to say to our folks so they can remember? And you guys, you need to call her serious. You need to take her up on her offer, take her up on her gift, and
Yeah.
remember that the VIP gift is only for VIPs. So that's a
Yes.
$97 upgrade on your ticket, of which 10% goes to the Better Vision for Children. We encourage you to upgrade your ticket, because not only does it allow you to help others, but you get to watch all the episodes, all the shows, and get a higher level gift as well as the regular gift. Go ahead, Catherine.
So my two words are ask, don't guess. So
Ooh, I like that.
yeah.
Somebody's been refining their talk. I know. So, all right, you guys. Catherine, love you forever. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being our quiz queen.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Have a great night.
Wow, I hope you enjoyed that just as much as I did. Thank you so much for all of that great information. Hey, we're not done yet, so just relax. We're going to continue on with our next speaker in just a few moments.